1, 2, 1, 2. Welcome back to Smack Panda. It's been happening, boys.
Yeah.
So you're going to get your nose broken.
I'm going to get my nose broken tomorrow. I was going to get Mark to do it. It'd be a lot cheaper than the guy that's doing it. But he couldn't guarantee the breakage would be at the right angle.
Right. In the shape I'm in, I'd probably hit your eye socket, I reckon.
Yeah. Of an eye on my forehead.
We could ask Tank Davis to do it for you,
Yeah.
but you might not wake up.
Nah.
We don't want that.
I want to wake up.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That was insane.
Brutal knockout.
I'll have nightmares about that fucking
Yeah.
fucking
The
punch.
more boxing I watch, the more brutal it seems to me. Like maybe I'm just getting older because I thought it was great fun. When I was younger, watching this shit, I
Yeah.
never thought of getting
Yeah.
in there. But now, fucking hell.
Well, it was good fun doing it while you're young too, and then when you get older, it's not as fun either.
No.
So,
Things start to hurt too much.
they do, man. I'm just in pain, just doing nothing
Sitting
now.
there.
Shit, age is a killer.
Yeah.
It sucks, man. I'm not even that old, but I feel like I've gone past 40. I got the wrong end of the stick, I think.
Yeah. But at least you got to do something like that made you feel like shit and you liked it on the way.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
did something that makes me feel like shit and I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
you're
Doing it for the money.
Yeah, you're still gonna feel like shit.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Just
matter what
Most
you
people feel like shit, so at least you got something for it.
Yeah. Got some experience out of it.
Speaking of feeling like shit, we got these American beers here because we're going to talk about the election. We're going to give some expert opinion on the American election.
Some year 9 educated political information on the US election. So we thought we'd start with US beers.
Yeah, well, actually, hopefully this gets up in time. Otherwise, it'll be over, and we could be
Well,
completely wrong.
It will definitely be over
It'll
by
be
the time
over.
this gets up.
So,
But, we don't even know how to pronounce the. Pabst.
Pabst.
yeah,
Pabst.
It's not part or something.
Pabst. Is it silent?
I don't know.
I don't know.
anyway, it's
It's not too bad.
Milwaukee, 1844. Yeah, for American beer, it's all right.
Since Burley Big Ed didn't come on board, fuck him.
No, it's all right.
Hey, they did give us a positive
they gave
welcome
us-
something.
They
I
gave us
don't
a
know.
thumbs up.
Yeah, it was a positive.
Hey, speaking of, I have to get a shout out to Andy at T Guitars, who fixed my guitars around here somewhere. Anyway, if you want your guitar fixed, go up to Barrel. Andy will do it for you. Did a good job. That's the beauty over there, actually.
T
I
Guitar.
might pull her out later. So yeah, I'm getting my nose broken. There was a boxing match. Dog's got cancer.
So,
Yeah. So it's all happening here.
fucking
Man.
dogs
Dogs.
come into your life and just break your heart.
Breaking up. 2.5.
Just like women.
Yeah. Dogs more expensive. Are they?
No.
No.
These days they seem to be. Also,
Yeah.
everyone's got like a fucking cavoodle cross that's $10,000. What happened to a dog that was free and you threw it out the back and never had to worry about it?
Yeah, my dad goes, we didn't even name him because we cared that much about him. But yeah, they didn't have names. They were mangy. You wouldn't pat him.
Yeah.
Throw them some food every
Yeah.
now and then. Yeah.
But now, yeah, spend thousands of dollars
Well,
on.
it's $2,500 for a CAT scan. They got a CT scan for dogs now.
Yeah.
And like you go to Alice Springs, I doubt they got a CT scanner there. Like it's a bit.
It's a joke.
And then they give you that horrible thing, whereas the dog's pretty sick. The chances are it's going to die of cancer, but you can spend $2,500 and maybe she might have 1% chance. Well, holy
Yeah.
shit, $2,500 is a lot of fucking money
is.
for a scan.
Fuck yeah.
So then there's all the whole guilt thing. So I've just given it.
how
a go.
old's your dog now?
She's 2. She's a baby. So
Fuck. And she's got cancer too.
she's got cancer.
Riddled.
Yeah, it looks like it.
We
yeah.
had a dog when I was a kid. We paid $10 for her. She died at like 16. She had cancer.
Yeah.
Beat it, and then we got the surgery done on that.
No.
Yeah, $10.
Well, she would have been a mongrel then.
Oh, she had everything in her.
Yeah. It's the purebreds, eh? It's the
Yeah.
thoroughbred because they're all
Always.
inbred, so they
Yeah.
come out with problems. Like the royal family and
Yeah.
things like that. So,
Pretty much.
pretty much. Yeah, they're all inbred. But people follow them. People love them. Saw the King of Thailand. Did you see
yeah?
that today?
No, I didn't.
Well, there's all these Thai protesters going, or students actually want to get rid of the monarchy.
We talked about that
Something
last
called
week.
democracy or
Yeah,
some shit,
okay.
And the king came out and finally met the people now because no one's seen him in ages. And he does look slightly retarded, like he's
Okay.
he's just not on the same planet as everyone else, you know. Like, yet there's thousands of people out the front of the palace in love with them. So it reminds me of back in the day, you know, when the suffragettes, when women were going for the vote. Well, if you look back at old newspaper clippings from the time, around the 1900s and that, there was a shitload of women that were against the suffragettes. There were women that didn't want the vote and didn't think they were smart enough to have the vote.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, it's all through it, man. So no matter how good your cause is, there's always going to be some fuckwit that is going to be against it, eh? You know, like even if it's for their own benefit.
Yeah.
So that's about democracy,
People
really.
are dicks.
People always vote against what's best for them, you know.
Yeah,
So that's why we have democracy, because if people voted what was good for them, we wouldn't be allowed to have democracy,
Yeah.
you know, because it'd be taken off us.
Yeah,
You
true.
know, so
Yeah.
it's about manipulation. Yeah. And yes, that's pretty heavy. I need to put
Yeah. Straight off the top.
straight off the top.
Where's Google?
Yeah, so why are you getting your nose broken just for people?
I can't breathe. Yeah. So I can't sleep.
Out of that huge snoz.
He's not. Yeah. So one of the sides is trying to collapse, and
that-
wife was looking at me funny. Really, basically that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Is that, did they say like how it might have happened? Because I have heard there was a certain podcast person, well, we won't mention who it is, because
Every
he gets
week.
enough fucking...
Definitely not.
Anyway, he had a guy on there
The
that,
guy that wasn't Joe Rogan,
yeah,
another one.
Yeah. Definitely
Yeah.
not that guy.
and he was
Joe
saying
Rogan.
about mouth breathers,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he actually, did he collapse one nostril or something because of that?
Something like that.
And then-
and then he could broaden the bridge through the disciplined
Yeah.
mouth, nose breathing again. I
Yeah.
don't know the science behind it,
But
but
it makes
but
sense.
he
if you don't use
explained
it.
it well. So
And that's why he reckons a lot of people catch viruses and shit too, because
No
your sinuses are
filtration
built
or-
up. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
right.
built to
To
combat
clear all
that shit.
out. Yeah.
But
That
your
makes
mouth,
sense.
But
yeah.
you're breathing through your mouth. You get a dry mouth. I don't know. You'd only breathe through your mouth if you got like a blocked nose, eh? Wouldn't you?
Well, he
Or
was
do people
doing it
just do
for
it for a
everything.
laugh?
He
Really?
taped his mouth shut
Wow.
and was just cruising around like for a week, maybe, with his mouth not talking or nothing. Just
Yeah, I think
wife
a
would
lot.
like that.
I think I'd
She
like
probably suggested it.
I think a lot of people panic breathe through their mouth when they're talking, and like I breathe through my mouth constantly because my nose is. I've got a bent
Well,
septum as well, but
Yeah.
but I can breathe enough out of it. So, but yeah, it's interesting, and even like they talked about the jawline and stuff like that in relation to nose breathing. Was it?
yeah, he mentioned something about the weak jawlines that men have these days. Or
Yeah.
he was just focusing on men, wasn't he?
I don't
But
know who he was talking
I
about.
can't remember. But he did something where he separated his skull and it made his face change.
Shit.
Yeah,
Really?
he started like, I can't remember what it was, like a
Was it?
fucking gag ball or something. But
Oh yeah, the chewing the ball. I
Yeah.
saw them do that, and it was like $100 for this plastic ball. And then I saw my dog in Kmart had a $2 ball, and it looked just like that fucking thing.
Yeah.
So I got it, and I started chewing the ball. And Haley's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" You know, and I'm chewing the dog thing. And you got to have good teeth for that shit. You know, my teeth are okay, but they're not the best. You know, I got a couple of root canals and all that, and it can fuck your teeth up. You know, it's one thing massaging your jaw, but constant hardcore pressure on your teeth ain't good for you.
Well, then you're dealing with neck tension, headaches, and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Chris
See, there's
Allen,
no
well,
secret.
there isn't,
There's no
man.
secret fix, man.
No.
Like, I remember I went to
People
this
love
lady.
that.
She was great, and it was like breathing techniques, like like a kind of form of meditation where you do your work breath, man. You know, and basically you hyperventilate and you get
Yeah.
a bit of a high.
Feel like the Wim Hof.
Yeah, and it seemed, well, I thought, well, I'm just hyperventilating. Yeah, it feels good, but heaps of people were booked in. So I thought, this is, okay, must be a thing. And it wasn't really that cheap. And then, I was listening to ABC on the way home, and they had this nurse on, and she was talking about that the last thing you should actually do is deep breathe like that. It's really bad for you. So when you got someone... I should tell this. Anyway, there's a story about this guy I used to work with. Anyway, he hated his job. He was a waiter, and I was the chef at the time. And he said, I hate this job. And it was a pretty shit job. And he goes, man, can you just follow my lead? And I'm like, yeah, okay, what are you going to do? It's a fully packed night. And he shouldn't have been doing the dishes because he was the waiter and he's really pissed about it. He shouldn't have been in the kitchen. So he goes, just follow my lead, okay? And so he picked up like a stack of maybe 20 huge plates and just smashed them on the ground. This is like 8 o'clock. And then he lay on the ground like, what the fuck's going on? And then he started crying and hyperventilating, pretending he'd fallen over. And then the boss runs in. Matt, what happened? I'm like, I didn't actually say anything. And Scott, his name, was just lying there, and he used to do theatre and shit. So he was crying his eyes out and hyperventilating. They got the ambulance out to him and all this. And the ambulance guy knew something was up, man. He goes, man, you're just hyperventilating. You need to blow into this bag. So what that does, the CO2 recirculates through your body, because it turns out it's not all about oxygen. It's actually about CO2.
Yeah.
If you don't get the balance right, you're fucked. Your body won't absorb the oxygen.
That's what that guy was talking about as well.
Yeah.
That's why he was talking about the nose breathing is beneficial because you get too much oxygen. So
through your mouth.
yeah, something about like when he trains, he's
Well, you're not expelling enough.
Yeah.
Well, you're expelling too much CO2 or
Something
something.
like that.
You don't
I
get
think
there's
it's
an
not
imbalance.
Not enough,
You gotta. I remember David Blaine talked about it too.
maybe it was him.
Was he for real though? Look, is David Blaine always full of shit?
I don't know,
or-
because he was in a, he was talking like some of the
15
stuff.
minutes on the Oprah show, and remember that? Or did you ever see
No, I
that?
didn't see
The
it.
world's longest holding your breath underwater, and it was on the Oprah show.
15 minutes.
15 or 16 minutes, and his heartbeat was high as a motherfucker.
That
Like,
doesn't
Yeah.
seem
like,
right.
and he's a trickster. He's a
Yeah.
magician.
Yeah,
you know?
that's
like
right.
that's,
No.
It's
it was
what
a
do they
clever
call it?
trick.
Show you something, but
Yeah,
Like, they're always-
I don't know
Sleight
how he
of
got
hand,
away
yeah.
with it. Sleight of
Yeah.
hand. That was his whole thing. But now he kind of morphed into this person who does extreme events. You know,
Stabs his arm and shit. It's a bit
Yeah.
weird.
but
it's too. Yeah, that's
too
gross.
weird.
like
Fuck no.
15
Why do you
minutes.
need
You
to
know,
do that?
Navy SEAL guys and all that might do 5 or 6 minutes or something. But David Blaine,
Yeah.
you know, like I don't know.
Do you know I didn't know who he was until South Park did an episode on him,
Yeah,
and he had a cult and that. Didn't know who he was.
it was kind of like the first modern mega magician. You know how you got these big magicians
Yeah.
and that.
What about
Like,
Chris
he was-
Angel?
Chris Angel. He was
Yeah,
before him, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Well, I think
squatting
David Blaine
cars
was
and that.
Maybe around the
late
same.
90s, early
Yeah.
90s. I
Whereas
think.
Chris Angel was like what, early 2000s, mid 2000s,
Yeah,
2010.
yeah. I remember he had that Mind Freak.
Yeah.
I got home from
TV
school,
show.
something like that. It was on there.
But back to the breathing thing. So like because I've heard all this mixed stuff, and I don't know if I'd heard it from the Wim Hof stuff as well. Now after the last few sessions, after I finish, if it's like the last hard intervals in the session, I go outside and I've been doing this like and just forcing like as much air out of
Yeah.
my body as I can. Well, I
Okay.
guess it's just dispelling the CO2. Well, I don't know if it's just in my head or because I'm just taking the time to slow my heart rate down, but I breathe out aggressively. Everyone's looking at me like, "What the fuck's he doing?" And it seems I don't know. It's I got to pay more attention to it when I do it. I should measure my heart rate and then how long it takes to come down and recover from the same session without doing it and then while doing it. But I've been doing it. To me, it feels like it brings my breathing back to normal far quicker.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Which is interesting because I'm not going
Yeah.
trying to gasp for breath.
So you're
and
pushing
bring in
it out
more,
instead.
You know what I mean? You're pushing the CO2.
So you're breathing out fast, but
no,
you're not breathing
getting
in
rid of the
fast.
oxygen, like because
Yeah.
you need more CO2. I think it is.
Yeah, to get
If
that
that's,
balance
that's what
right.
It is,
Yeah.
So I can't remember.
Yeah.
I've mixed it up in my head, but I came up with it one day. I was like, I'm gonna start trying that. Now my job is to go. I keep hitting this thing. My job is to go and like actually put some process behind it and record some results. I guess
Yeah, well,
it kind of feels like it makes a difference, but
if it feels good, do it.
yeah, gets me out of panic stage quick when I'm out of shape.
Yeah.
You know when your chest tightens up and you feel like it's almost like anxiety, asthma breathing.
Yeah.
Just from
It's like I can get rid of that quickly. Yeah. So, but yeah, I did that this morning actually, after a session. So that's what brought it.
So you've
back
been
to-
training every day still?
Nah, man. Like 3 days a week forced because I'll still have a crack. Like,
Yeah.
I can turn up and still out train anyone if I want to, but not anyone, not high level athletes and shit, but anyone in the gym.
Yeah.
But
Like Rob and Scott, just normal dudes.
Just normal dudes. But definitely, yeah. Nah, man. I should be doing more holistic shit and looking after, fixing my body.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I'm busy. Same old excuses. Plus, I just don't fucking want to at the minute. A couple of sessions a week is enough because I stay in just enough shape not to be so far gone that no one can respect what I'm saying. But but relaxed enough to just let it go a little bit.
Yeah,
I
sweet.
need to do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
not fire the ego back up, and chase anything. I'm nice.
Well, you're not going to do a Mike Tyson and
I wish I could do any resemblance of a Mike Tyson. It'd be good, eh? But no, yeah.
he's in pretty good shape, like looks wise.
Yeah, it looks good.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
I haven't
reckon
actually
he'd be in
seen him
good shape.
train, but
I've never seen him in that good a shape, really. When have you ever seen him like punch hard for 10 rounds
Yeah.
or 12 rounds?
yeah, it's only ever like a
Just
20
explosive,
second.
boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, have a rest, hold, look tired, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom. Oh, there's a shot. It's
Yeah.
finished.
Slip a couple of times.
Yeah, he's not 21 anymore.
No.
Like,
Yeah, you're
and
right.
as soon as he wasn't 21, it was all downhill, wasn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
Head
just
stop moving.
60 seconds is all he needed.
Yeah,
It was a bit like me. 60 seconds.
30 seconds too long.
It's a race, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Trump,
Yeah,
What do you
so it's
reckon?
coming up. Everyone's backing Biden to win. They
Really?
Did, oh, yeah, he's still
He's
up.
ahead in the polls. But
Yeah.
what the
do
fuck are
mean?
they?
I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't. I think it'll be a lot closer than what people over here think. Anyway, could be wrong. You know, like he fucked up COVID, something chronic, and it depends.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of COVID doesn't exist and shit out there, especially in the States. Even though there might be a few bullshit numbers over there, but it's not 200,000 bullshit numbers. You know, like definitely people have died over there. You know, there's some shit going on. So
Yeah.
it depends. It's a messed up place. I'm probably going to say Trump might just sneak it in, just from the last rallies of the last week. You know, I know the Democrats saying they don't want people to turn up to the rallies, but Trump's got shitloads of people, man. You know, turning up, and he's on the hustings. He's smashing it. You know, it looks like he's got these gigantic helicopters.
Yeah.
It's good TV. you know?
Yeah, it's just
He's
he's
an
an
entertainer.
He is, man. I was watching him today. I was just for the pure sake of entertainment,
Yeah.
and he just comes out with the dumbest,
Bizarre.
funniest shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he's made me kind of like him a little bit just because of how.
Oh, he's
off the
definitely
planet
funny.
he is. Like
It's
he's
tremendous.
yeah, he's really funny. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, he's got, you know where he's coming from because the only thing he gives a fuck about is Trump.
yeah.
You know, it's kind of refreshing.
It's honest. at
Yeah, he
least.
hasn't got an ideology apart from that. Like
No.
he's not communist or he's not anything
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
You know, even he calls himself capitalist, but he's a Trumpist.
Yeah.
That's all he gives a shit
Yeah,
about
100%.
is him.
Me.
Is him. Like he's the weirdest, most egocentric
He is.
maniac.
Yeah.
out.
Everything he speaks on is going back to him and what
Yeah.
I've done and
Yeah.
since I've been
Yeah.
in.
And he will offend anyone.
Yeah.
Like he does say some terrible things, especially in the States where they really love their leader. You know, the
Yeah.
president's like the emperor over there. Over here, the prime minister, no one gives a shit.
No.
You know,
Most
like
people don't know who he is.
no,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Which is the way it should be. I think they're not on a pedestal like the.
Yeah.
But the Yanks really do like their president, man. You know, and so when the president says all Mexicans are rapists, and there's all these there's millions of Mexicans there, little kids and that. It's a really shit thing for
Yeah.
for someone in his position to
Yeah.
say. So
He's a rock star, really,
he's
isn't he?
funny, but he's a dick. You know, so
Oh, he's definitely a dick. I think he's
Yeah.
always been a dick.
he's always
Forever
been a
gonna
dick,
be.
but he was never that good at business. He just
Nah.
screwed people over.
That's right.
Did
yeah.
he come into his money?
Yeah, his
Yeah.
dad
Born
gave him
into it,
$2 million.
Dad is rich, and then if you
Like-
look at all his business dealings, all he did was fuck people over, man. Like he's really,
Yeah,
you know, he'd get these buildings built, and he wouldn't pay the builders, and he wouldn't pay for the grand pianos, and wouldn't do all this stuff.
Which
you know,
makes you wonder, like, I don't know, maybe that's a good thing when you're trying to rebuild the supposed
well, yeah.
economy leader and
Well,
leader.
you know, and we haven't even spoken about the Democrat side, you know, so we're paying Trump out a bit, but the Democrats are like,
Get some personality.
yeah,
Fuck.
but they like it used to be. I used to think the Democrats were kind of like for peace and shit, and you know, and the working people.
all bullshit,
but
bud,
it's,
isn't it?
they're not. You know, like Obama bombed and murdered fucking thousands of kids
Yeah.
and stuff. And the one thing I will say about Trump is that he hasn't invaded anyone extra.
Yeah.
He's actually tried to pull out, whereas
Yeah.
every single American president has invaded a country.
Yeah, right.
You know, and killed shitloads. So
Peaceful
everyone's
nation.
saying that Trump's this right winger and that, but he could be an undercover lefty. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's a weird.
It's just that he speaks his mind too much.
Yeah, but
He's less politically correct.
does he have
I
a mind?
guess.
He's evidently a speed freak. There's a video
Yeah.
of him a few years ago where he's given an interview and behind him was like a open drawer.
It's
and there's-
Adderall and
yeah, packets and packets of Adderall and stuff in it, you know,
yeah.
and it makes sense.
Of course.
Then it's hyperactive, and then sometimes he can't even put a cup of water to his
yeah.
mouth.
and he's like
that, you know.
1,000.
Yeah, he's
He
old.
can't be
He
that
can't
old.
have that energy.
But he does
No.
look better than Biden, though.
Biden's on his
You know.
deathbed.
Yeah.
He's old as
And that
shit.
just says something about the Democratic Party. They'd rather put someone up that might lose than have someone like Bernie Sanders who might have actually given people working wages and
He would have
you know
probably
livable
improved
wages.
things,
He would have
yeah.
improved things for,
for
the Yanks.
for the middle guy.
Yeah, which is what it's supposed to be about. Like the reason I think, and most people will half brain think that Trump won is because all the jobs went to China. Like they got shafted, the American population. Their wages have gone through the floor. In fact, the life rate for a white American male now is dropping. That's the first time that's happened in 300 years or 200 years or something. So the life expectancy is dropping. Now that's incredible for the richest country
Yeah.
of all time to have that, and so that is where,
Democrats would probably look at that like it's equality, but
well, yeah. Well, what did Clintons called them? She called them the deplorables, the working class
Yes.
people. You know, these people that had, just normal working people, you know, that are trying to put fucking food on the table. She called them deplorables. And these are the same people that voted for Obama.
yeah,
Like they didn't suddenly become racist now.
Yeah,
There is an angle to them that are, but most of them just said, "Fuck you, we're not voting for you again." Obama didn't. Where was all this hope and change shit?
Yeah.
Like it didn't fucking
nothing
happen for
happened.
the average person. Man,
Yeah.
you know, their
He
wages
was-
dropped even more.
He lied to their faces, really, didn't he?
Oh, he
Just-
told Wall Street. He said, "I'm the only thing between you and the pitchforks." You know, he could have bailed out the people. 10 million people lost their homes in 2008. 10 million.
Remember the
Families on the
whistleblower
street.
that's
thing?
crazy. Yeah,
He said we won't be crucifying any whistleblowers. We'll actually
that didn't last very long,
no.
did it? Yeah.
As soon as he got in, like Snowden.
Oh,
on
yeah,
his
yeah.
Head.
oh yeah.
Julian Assange. Where
Yeah,
is he?
Where's he now?
He's in jail, man. He's,
Oh, he is?
Oh, up in London. It's the most disgusting thing. He's only on a bail breach, which is normally a fine. That's all he did, man. Those rape charges were dropped by the chicks. They were bullshit. It was all a beat up anyway. The Icelander's foreign minister from Iceland, about, was it 7 or 8 years ago, he came out on an interview saying that the CIA went to him to ask to set up Assange because they knew Assange was coming. And he found out they were in the country and they said, yeah, we're going to set him up with these chicks and all that. That was in Iceland, and the Iceland had a pretty radical government and fucked them off. But they did the thing in Sweden. It was the same setup. So they set the guy up. You know, he was dumb enough to put it, you know, of course they were going to be after him. Like, you know.
Yeah.
So he shouldn't have had sex with anyone, you know, really, but he did, and they fucked him. And now, like, what's happening in London? He's been in solitary confinement for a year now, and the trial's been going on. No one knows about it, but it's just atrocious, mate. You know, like, yeah,
just
there is
making
no.
him- there's been
no
no
one
media
knows, man.
coverage
He's an
now.
Australian citizen.
Yeah.
You know, he's probably the most important person in the world, really, when you think about
the secrets and
how,
shit,
yeah, well, how can we make a decision about our governments voting left, right, or certain, whatever it is, if we don't know how they behave?
That's right.
They tell us how they behave, but that's not how they behave.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
him and Snowden and others have actually shown what they do, and then we can make an informed decision as voters. Okay, I don't want them. I do like what they do. It's up to us, but we shouldn't shoot the people that let us know
delivering the
what's going
message.
on.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah,
so
don't
that.
shoot the messenger.
And,
If
and the
anything-
Democrats, the Republicans, they all hate him. All, you know, our own governments in Australia hate him and all that because none of them want the population to actually know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So that's why he's a really important guy. And that's
Yeah.
why they've
no
absolutely
media,
massacred
yeah.
his personality in the media
Yeah.
and all that. You know,
If anything, we need more
oh,
guys
shit,
like
anyone
that.
should do it. Yeah,
Fuck.
you know, like
crazy.
the cancer hides in the crevices. You know, and once you put the light on things, they can't get away with the shit anymore. So. Yeah, so that's why I like the American election coming up, but it's just a circus, you know. It's just,
Oh, it's just entertainment.
It's just entertainment,
literally
you know,
entertainment.
there's-
Is it any of it gonna make?
you know,
any
just
fucking
puppet over here or
difference?
this
Like,
puppet over here,
Yeah.
you know, like there's
Yeah.
one person with
Yeah.
It's like the grand final coming up.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just-
yeah. There's a big build up to it.
Mm.
The rallies, man, I love the rallies. Are so entertaining.
But it does seem when you got a highly armed population like that, and he is divisive, and both sides are being divisive now. It could, you know, and you got armed militia walking around on both sides with machine guns, and they think nothing will kick off. In Yugoslavia, they had the same thing. They didn't think anything would kick off until something kicked off.
Yeah.
It's not impossible that
Nah,
shit could actually
people,
go down.
People talking about
you
it,
know?
right? people talking about it.
Fuck yeah.
That wouldn't be good.
No.
They got thousands of nukes. You know, like
And they're stupid.
yes,
Yeah, they're hot-headed.
they're pretty hot-headed.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's because Hollywood's just everything's
Yeah.
a movie. You know,
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
hard to see reality over
Yeah,
there.
they're out of touch with reality.
And look, the leadership's the actors. Like, you know, Trumpy was
Yeah.
his main way of making money was actually from The Apprentice. You know, he made millions from The Apprentice. So he's an actor. Ronald Reagan, like, you know, like it's all acting, isn't it? You know, so
Yeah.
He's living the society is is like what I was saying. I was listening to on the way here, with the guy that made what's it called again? Really, a movie on Netflix about social media.
Social Dilemma?
Yeah, I haven't even watched it yet, but he was just talking about it. It's just like the whole society's run by algorithms.
Yeah,
Like,
it makes sense,
just
doesn't it?
And like they're so vulnerable to manipulation and
Yeah.
this narrative that they're running, and you know what they can hook us on.
well, that's why it's important
Yeah.
to teach kids critical thinking. You
Yeah.
know, like and get it into school and actually get them taught about that. You know, like this. You guys
Yeah.
are in a new world, and this is
Yeah.
how people are manipulated now. They want your money, you know, and they want your life really, which is your hours of work to go to work. So
That's
you can
right.
give
Yeah.
them your hours in the
Yeah.
form of money.
Yeah.
And kids aren't taught that. I think the kids are kind of smart enough now that they might figure it out for themselves.
Yeah.
But it should be part of the education everywhere, you know. So
Yeah.
you know.
The problem for a lot of them, I think, is that like ostracization. Yeah, I can't say
That's
the
a big word.
You say it?
For the- yeah.
Ostracization.
Being ostracised. I like that.
Ostracization.
It's this American bear here, man.
That's
Paps.
today.
If anyone knows how to spell it, just tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that against anyone that thinks differently now, though, too, like it's hard to have an opinion other than the popular one. You just slammed, like
Yeah.
especially within for people so entrenched in the social media world. If you have a different viewpoint, like you're pretty well.
Yeah, and you
fucked.
get slammed, but you don't even know if you're being slammed by a real person. It could be an algorithm
Yeah,
slam. You know,
yeah,
like
it could
the
be.
whole
Yeah,
thing
like
is
the trolls.
super fake. Yeah,
Yeah.
trolls.
Yeah.
Most of the trolls, you go on their site and they don't have any posts. They have a lot of. I've noticed that the people that are trolling some things I look at, and you go on their site and they don't have any friends. And then they've changed their profile picture maybe 10 times, and that's all they've ever put out. Have a look. That's
right.
Yeah.
that's a bot, man. You
It's-
know,
it's crazy
So-
because
Which is chaos. Like what?
the first time I actually noticed that was on a guy's fucking Instagram that
Yeah.
I used to work with. He'd put up like a photo of, I don't know, mowing the lawn, like a shit photo, and it got
What?
like 40,000 likes. I was like, hang on a minute.
He's a good-looking guy.
Well, he wasn't even in the photo. He was just like the lawnmower.
people like lawnmowers.
But yeah, so I don't know how much he spent on that, but
Fucking hell.
it's a bit sus.
Yeah, the whole thing's sus. That you can't take it seriously, and you shouldn't. Mate. Like
No,
social
right
media is
now,
its own thing.
Yeah.
It is
You know,
an
don't think of it
entity
as-
within itself.
Yeah, it's for cats and
Well, like
shit
you were
like
saying,
that, you know.
like trying to promote a post and you can't chuck a couple of swear words in there.
Oh no, but you
It's
can
all
have
over.
tits and ass
Yeah.
and whatever else
You
you,
can have
want
guns
in
and
there, 'cause
shit,
that's-
yeah.
yeah, it's bizarre. I think like what's so offensive about saying shit?
Yeah,
Fucking hell, man.
it's real.
it's like it's a word.
Yeah.
I think we'd be so offended by a word, shit. Like there's not even a meaning behind
It's
No.
weird, isn't it? And
It's
why
just like-
why are these words offensive?
Yeah, but
Shit.
this is okay. Like
yeah.
you can
but you can say
slam,
war, you can say rape.
Yeah.
They're a lot more offensive
Yeah.
than shit
and you can
fuck,
slam
you know?
people for whatever you want, make them
Yeah.
feel like shit, but you can't say it. Like and then
Yeah, it's a
advertise.
strange
It was
thing, eh?
bizarre, 'cause
Yeah.
that was a sick clip to advertise.
Yeah.
Boost on.
Fucking
That
assholes.
would have got us heaps of followers, which would have made us feel way better about
Yeah,
Yeah, the
ourselves.
serotonin would have been pumping.
Well, we don't want that.
We'd be.
we want the.
They need to switch it up because we would have given more business then.
Well, that's what it's all about. It's
Yeah,
got nothing to
hooking
do
us
with
in
anything
there.
else.
Yeah.
It's just about business, same
Yeah.
man, selling eyes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's strange how when the internet first started, it was going to be this open thing, and it was going to make everyone free. It's the one place in the world you could be free, and for a
Yeah.
while it kind of was, but it's not now.
No
you
way,
know,
man.
No. I remember when it
Policing
first came
at its
out.
Worst.
Like,
Yeah.
you'd go online. It was like an encyclopedia, pretty much.
it was pretty boring.
It was
Yeah,
shit.
it was shit. Yeah.
Yeah. But
And then
that's what it
then
was.
the porn picked up and it
Yeah.
got heaps more interesting.
yeah,
And
yeah.
like,
The
what do you
pirate
mean? I
stuff.
don't have to go to fucking Video Easy to look
No
at
more
pornos?
scratch discs.
Yeah.
I remember when
no-
the Kim Kardashian one come out.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
about 14 or 13, and my mate had this scratched copy that must have gone through about 10 different people. It was so. Oh no, it wasn't even Kim. It was One Night in Paris. It was Paris Hilton.
Paris Hilton.
The OG one,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we were putting toothpaste on it, just anything we could to get it to
it
play, and we
work,
just see
yeah.
like that one bit of tit that never came through, and it just stopped. I was like, no, it's supposed to fill the holes or some shit, the scratches. Oh man, we had all the strategies, but then they never worked. The bloody these kids these days, they'll never understand the lengths we used to have to go to.
There's no
Yeah.
imagination for them,
There's
is
not.
there? You
No,
know,
it's
they can't fill in the
Well,
blanks. It's
yeah.
all there.
We got lucky, and
Too much, yeah.
Yeah.
Imprints a wrong idea.
the guy down the road, he
He was a pedophile. He was-
Nah,
give
not-
it to you.
yeah, pretty much. He was I don't know what happened, but one day we just walked up the shop. Me and me mate were about maybe 9 or 10, and there was fucking like porno magazines just everywhere through this paddock.
Wow.
Wow.
9 or 10. That's
Yeah, it was young,
oh,
Yeah, yeah.
but
I'd
yeah,
have been disgusted.
no, it was. It is what it is. You know?
That's weird. Wonder how they got there.
I don't know why-
Someone found his son's stash or
I
something.
don't know
and
why
checked
they
out.
did it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really bizarre, but yeah,
Let's not go down that rabbit
That's,
hole. We got
yeah,
some
yeah.
stories on that stuff.
life in
Oh,
Coonawarra,
Yeah.
life at the top.
So yeah, yeah. I'm calling. I'm going to go out on a limb and call Trump.
Yeah, I think Trump's going to win.
Wow, that's two of us. You're going to have to go bite him.
He's behind, like people were saying he's behind and whatever, but I don't know.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just feel like we're not that invested, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it
that
doesn't
much
matter.
to
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Are these twisties or?
Yeah, twisties, yeah.
I'm gonna have to bash to the bench or something to get these
Got
off.
the Grand American beer, Budweiser's.
Which is they got. I think it's actually a Prague beer called Budvar originally, and a guy from
that
wasn't
makes
Czechoslovakia,
sense,
was it? It was Prague. Went over to the States and he started up Budweiser, I think. So, and I remember.
Yeah, well, that looks pretty Dutch.
Yeah, I remember being in having a Budvar over in Prague, and they gave me the spiel about it. But it's a different beer. The Budvar is actually quite good. I'm not sure how the Budweiser is.
They're just popularized by the American.
It's in a
TV
brown
shows.
bottle, so it might be all right.
Well, look at
They're
the
not bad.
Anheusen
Yeah,
Busch.
that's what I'm saying.
Jesus Christ.
I don't even know that. I just made that assumption, but now looking at it, I don't think they're American at all.
Buds.
This
Yeah.
Bud's for you. Where's my water go? Yeah, this-
They're not bad though.
Yeah, I just know it because of the what was the Simpsons beer? Duff.
Duff.
It's like that was Budweiser ripoff.
Yeah, pretty much, eh? Duff. And then they had Fudd.
Fine. Yeah, that was a ripoff of Duff.
Pretty smart, eh?
Simpsons. I learned a lot of history from the Simpsons.
Fuck yeah.
It's still going, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's just
Season
not the-
83.
It's not the same anymore. It got really poor there for a bit, and then
Yeah.
then it improved a little again. They had to kind of catch back up to Family Guy
Yeah,
and American
well-
Dad, like the more crude
When they came
out there
out,
humor.
I don't think anyone watched The Simpsons when
When it first
when
no,
Family Guy and that
way.
launched.
that shit is
Yeah.
hilarious, and it was like different because it wasn't really South Park. It was heaps
they were-
outrageous, but it was so outrageous that most people never watch it. Whereas Family Guy
Yeah.
and American Dad were that crossover between The Simpsons and. Look at us, fucking history on cartoons.
That's
Jesus.
right.
Cartoon
You
history.
guys are rocking it. Now, what was this big thought you said you had?
Now I'm gonna have to try. I couldn't even
You
say
couldn't remember it?
ostracized before,
Oh.
so we'll see how we go.
Was it a
I was
deep thought?
Yeah, it's not really because someone spoke about it when I was listening on the way here actually, but I was traveling up to Sydney. It was our anniversary, 6 years married. Thank you guys. On Saturday, we were driving up for to eat at Mr. Wong's, which was
Oh, yeah.
outstanding.
It is outstanding.
Yeah, and the architecture there is wicked. I was just looking out the window and I just had this thought, and I was like, why on earth? Like, humans are literally the only living thing that consciously destroy the place that we live, like with because of a currency or the idea of gaining something. But I was really deep in thought about it. I was like, what the fuck?
Was that when you went through Sutherland, wasn't it? I normally get that thought when I go through there.
But seriously, why the fuck would we just openly destroy where we live? I don't get it. The planet that we're on. Like, we all know what we're doing. I was just I must have been looking at some trees or something, and then I looked at the highway and I went, we just think we can just come along, just fucking dig everything out of the earth, slap this here, take from here, destroy whatever we want, and we're gonna come up with a solution for it.
No.
Like, we have to be the most ignorant fucking
It's pretty
species
arrogant.
on
It's
earth.
pretty silly, eh?
It is
You
really
kind of
dumb.
want to.
For what, man?
You
For
want to
what?
work with nature. Yeah, well, I think that might have come from. Yeah, I think it's definitely a Western European thing.
It's a
Dominate
conquer.
nature, eh?
Yeah,
Conquer, eh?
conquer.
We can.
That's what we are.
We
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
conquerors.
But that's a virus, isn't it? You know,
Yeah,
we're
that's
going to
it.
conquer it until the host dies, and then we're fucked.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what we're doing, right?
Well, most conquerors have that turn at the end of their life, don't they? Where they're like, fuck, what did I do all this shit for?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
give it back, but we
Yeah.
can't fucking. We better hurry up.
Who are we going to
think
give it
that-
to?
We're gonna flip it back a little.
Give it to the rats.
You
They'll
just
be
come
good
back
at
with
it.
solutions, I
Yeah.
guess. But
I think the solutions are there. Like I think
We've-
nature is actually she's pretty robust.
it is. Like,
You know,
it can-
like
yeah,
when they say save the planet, it ain't save the planet. It's save us.
Yeah.
She's been hit by an
Yeah.
asteroid the size of fucking
Yeah.
Australia or whatever. You know, she's going to be all right.
yeah. That's what I'm kind of getting at. There, like, yeah, like
Yeah.
we're gonna destruct ourselves. People eat themselves to death. Out of what?
Yeah, yeah. These
We'll drink us like this shit. Like, as good as it is, we'll fucking poison ourselves drinking for what? It's because we enjoy the taste of it. We know
Yeah.
it's not good for us. Like,
You got to enjoy your
well,
life, you know?
You have to enjoy it, but like people fucking well overindulge
Yeah.
in it. Like, you know, why would you do? I don't understand. I feel like it ages you like a motherfucker.
Yeah, it would.
Like, I don't know. We just
I think-
do some dumb shit, man, and I don't
I
really
think
know
people
why.
turn to this, though, because they're escaping.
Yeah, they're escaping this fucking
escaping
false,
their shit job and
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
that. This,
this programmed reality that we're talking
The
about
pressure that
before.
they-
yeah.
They're under.
Well,
Well, that's why there's
it's
this
just the
push,
innate-
this pushback with the psychedelics and that,
Yeah.
which is happening, which, you know, which hopefully might open people's minds up and eyes up. You know,
connectedness.
yeah, connectedness. You
Yeah.
know, get out to nature. Don't sit in your room and watch TV if you do it. You know,
Yeah.
go to Botanic Gardens or something.
Yeah.
And and just let them reconnect. You know, it sounds a bit airy fairy and stuff, but it's absolute truth, isn't
Yeah.
it? You know, but it's also I think the average person or everyone doesn't want to fuck the earth up.
No.
But we've created these corporations and this culture where, well, basically it's, you know, not being fucking comments, but it's what capitalism is it grows on eternal growth. And so it needs to get more and more product out there. That's why nothing lasts for fucking 5 seconds, because they need to sell it to you
Turnover,
again.
yeah.
So and that's destroying, and infinite growth might be all right in an infinite universe, but we live on a finite planet.
Yeah.
And so infinite growth on a finite planet is a virus and we'll die, you know. So it's actual a major structural change needs to happen, and most people want it. You know,
Yeah.
I think maybe the COVID thing might be a nice wake up call for,
Yeah.
that you don't really need all this shit.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
what do you need? Like, who were the essential workers? Was the fucking cleaners and the nurses and the doctors?
Yeah.
You know, and it was the people cooking your food. Like, they were essential workers. It wasn't the management. You know, it wasn't the banks and shit like that.
Yeah.
It was actually, you know. So, but they, you know, the cleaners are still on fuck all money. You know,
Yeah.
so like, but I noticed here where we are, we're next to a nature path. And when COVID first hit, well, I'd never seen so many
people
families
out walking,
mum
running.
and dad,
Yeah.
and all the kids up the hill. It was
Yeah.
really heartening. My shit, it was like going back 30 years,
Yeah.
you know.
But
before,
in saying that, your wife's business has exploded.
Oh,
with
yeah.
fucking divorces. And,
Yeah, my wife works in a lucrative business at the moment. With the divorce.
they can't keep up.
But you know, but like she was saying,
Settle
well,
it
she
yourselves.
would, but also maybe that's a good thing. Like back in the 50s, man, you stayed with this person, and
Yeah,
you might just
miserable,
not
yeah.
got along. They could have been a terrible, corrupt relationship for both of you, and you guys just stayed in it. Well, at least now we have a choice, and if you're with someone, you're with them because you want to be with them.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Um,
yeah.
but it's tough. I
It's
don't know.
like holding a shit job. Like people just do it because they feel trapped. It's like similar in shit relationships. A lot of people just stay in them because that's what
they don't know
feel.
how
That's
to
what they
leave.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they either don't know how to leave or they don't actually know any different. They think you're supposed to be.
I remember
like
my
that.
first real relationship. Must have been like I went on for maybe 3 or 4 years. Probably started when I was 17 or 18, and by the time age of 21, I thought, oh fuck, I'm not. I always thought I was going to die young. I thought, well, I'll be dead soon anyway, so this will be all right. I should have just left her and gone off with my mates to Queenstown snowboarding and that, but. I don't know. It was a weird hang up. I couldn't do it. It was just my life. And I was like, oh, well, that's it. Fuck, I'm just with this chick. She's a complete bitch, at the time. And that's what I thought. But I was a dickhead anyway for putting up with it.
Yeah.
So, it was a strange thing, man. Generally, life isn't that short.
No, it can be long.
It can be really long if you're with the wrong,
Long and painful.
wrong person.
Next minute, your kid's getting a kayak.
Yeah. So, it does go on. But I think maybe there's a zeitgeist change. I think things to me seem to be coming to a head, whether it's Trump, Biden, like the whole system, the monetary system seems to be collapsing. Like we've got this youngest generation, not the millennials, the new ones, they're called Zeds or something like that. They're
There's
growing
another
up.
one.
Yeah, like Thunberg, Greta and all that. Not she's a poster child and people love her or hate her, but that generation, they're a different breed. My daughter, and her friends, they're pretty onto it. They grew up with the world's biggest library. It's bigger than the Library of
That's
Alexandria
true.
in their phone. They've got social connections that we couldn't even imagine.
They got this show.
They got this show.
Hey, what more information would you need?
It'd be like Wayne's World. They'll be fucking coming back from the future, getting us. But they don't get paralytic drunk like I used to because they can't, because it'll be on film.
That's right.
When they take a selfie, when I take a selfie, I feel like a complete dick. I'm being a wanker, and I see someone taking it. I used to think they're being, look at those assholes, but it's not. When these young people are taking selfies, they look at someone taking a selfie, saying, oh, they're communicating with their peers. They are connected different, and they don't realize that they can't do dick. They actually believe they can change things, which means they actually fucking might change things. I don't think there's been this big a gap in cultures between the generations for a fucking long time. Maybe since the beginning of the car, since when the car came out.
How old's Amara?
She'll be 16 next year. So that really the first generation to grow up with a phone, with this access and with these brand new social connections that no one's ever had before. They're weird. We don't like.
It's interesting times, though.
They're wild times, and I don't think they're all negative. It's just really interesting.
Yeah.
And you got to think about it. Every generation, the parents always hated their kids. These kids are shit and that. And so, as a parent, you don't want to fall into that. We are going to start hating them for something, and so we got to think, hey, this is just the way it is, and you got to roll with it, man. That's the best thing. One of the real good things about having kids, especially teenagers, is they keep you hip. You got to talk to them and say what's going on, because you don't get it from anywhere else. You don't get it from fucking TV or even YouTube or anything. You get it from the kids, man, and they.
Watching them come through, but I'm a little concerned about the state of our men, for sure.
In your line of work.
Oh, man, our boys, they're just like...
They're different?
They're few and far in between, like... Even finding kids that can just move their fucking bodies properly.
Oh, yeah,
It's bizarre.
Like athletically...
Just
Just
at all. Like,
Yeah,
you might
well.
get one out of a whole class. Like,
Holy shit! No,
it's
no.
bizarre. Just whereas when I was a kid, like, they were all the athletes and I was like the odd one.
Yeah, okay. Now
Like
it's...
all my mates, they could play footy well, could surf, could
Yeah.
all move properly, were fast. Like, and now I look at the group of kids, and you got one athlete in a group of fucking 15 to 20. I don't know what to call them.
Shit.
It's bizarre. I just and I know what it is. It's just the change of what they do now. And
They're not
you
riding
can't
their
really-
BMXs
They're not doing
and-
shit
climbing trees and-
physically. But we've had our physical. I understand, like, things have changed, but we've had our physical bodies. What the fuck are we? And like also, the expression of like our manhood in terms of letting out testosterone and being able to express competitiveness and stuff like that. It's fucking important for boys to learn how to be men as well. Like, we're supposed to lead. I know things are changing, and many more female leaders and stuff now, but like there needs to be that balance. Then we're supposed to be the ones out. Well, conquering and dividing.
There's not many places left to conquer.
Nah.
With our little drones.
That was a joke, FYI. But yeah, we do though. We need that's in our nature to be competitive. That's why
Yeah.
we've been given so much testosterone and more physical gifts. We need to physically express like our manhood.
Yeah.
Whereas like these kids they don't know how to anymore. They're so
Yeah.
scared to.
Oh, well,
They're real. They can't even move their body, so of course they can't. Like, I don't know.
Is it
it's-
do
I
you
feel
think
like
it's
it's a
confidence a bit as well.
yeah. Well, that just comes, but that's it's almost like a feminization of the boys
Yeah.
because they're so like withdrawn and
Okay.
But
like
it-
what happened to being like, I'm here, like this is my space and I'm gonna fucking dominate it, and yeah, like you don't have to be a dick about it. But boys, like I don't know, between our mates, like it's always about being competitive, right? When you're that age and you work the pecking order out of things, you work out who belongs where, who's the thinkers, who's the doers, who's the, you know what I mean?
The clowns.
Yeah, you said it. Whereas now it's like, I don't know, is everyone just here? Like,
Yeah,
everyone
maybe.
cranky about it or feeling shit about themselves because they've oppressed that stuff. Like, there's so much anxiety and stuff now, but they're just worried because there's no
Yeah.
expression of like what comes natural to us, and if we do express it, the fear of like the backlash or the withdrawals. I don't know.
yeah.
Not the
I had a,
withdrawals, the
Reprisals
yeah.
and all that.
I had
yeah.
a interesting conversation once with this drill sergeant. He was working at Kapuka, like where Australian Army goes to train and that, and they got to a part where they had to fight each other, like test each other kind of thing. And he's like, "All right, how many of you have had a fight?" And he goes, like, 2 people put their hand up out of a huge class, you know. He goes, it's embarrassing what's coming to, like, to become our fucking soldiers.
Yeah.
They haven't
Yeah.
even had a fight.
You're going
like,
to war. Like, war's
Yeah,
probably
like-
different now, but you still need to, like, you don't know
as
nothing
as
about...
a kid, not had a fight. That's
like, there's gotta be,
insane.
yeah, it's too, but that comes from the parenting too.
Mm.
Like, you don't want your kids to be violent, but I always tell even my girls,
Yeah.
like, if anyone hits you or if
You
there's
need-
a threat of it, you need to hit them back.
Yeah.
Like, even if we're friends, and like, I remember Rikey hitting, grabbing Evie or something once, I was like, just fucking hit him. And
Yeah.
she punched him in the face, and it stopped it straight away.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck.
He needs to learn and
No, but it's not just him. Like, that's
yeah,
just
they both,
nature.
Yeah.
That's nature. Like, that's
Yeah.
how they learn. That's how you work a pecking order out.
Yeah. And
when you're
Rocky
that
does
age.
it too. He comes up and says, he did this. And I'm like, well, what are you going to do
Yeah.
about it? Like, you
Go
need
and sort
to.
it out. Remember that kid? Remember that time he fucking rolled that kid at the
He was
center?
just wrestling. Like,
jiu-jitsu naturally
Yeah.
just flipped this kid, and he must have been the
he
kid
was like
must, he was
laughing and shit. And
maybe
the kid
two. The kid was like 4.5 or
Yeah.
something, a big kid, and he
I'm
just
like,
hammered him. I loved
never
it.
shown anything. And he's just.
Just grabbed him in the
Shit.
head and flipped him.
The amount of times I try and get him to box and that, and he's like, nah, we're fighting.
Yeah.
He's like, I can bite and scratch. And he goes, you can tickle me. I'm like, that ain't fair. He loves it.
But it's a something in our nature that needs to be nurtured because it's just who we are. You can't go away from it, really.
And there used to be like, you look at Bon Scott and get into the music side, but those guys were all hard as knuckles fuckers, you know.
Yeah.
They'll, the rock and roll guys.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's
just-
all kind of changed now. It's all
Yeah.
like I don't know, that aggression and that is still going to be in people. And rather than getting funneled into politics, it should get funneled into rock and roll and other things, you know. Like,
it doesn't have to be violence.
or
but
even they do it now through trolling and being a
Yeah,
prick to
dick,
someone,
yeah.
you know, like,
But that's a real like passive aggressive
yeah,
bullshit.
that's the worst type of aggressive.
for
Fuck, I
men,
hate that.
especially. Like that's
Yeah.
it's
Is it who their
feminine
heroes
thing.
are kind of thing? Because my heroes are all
But
fucking
no,
loose
it just
idiots.
comes
Yeah.
back to your fucking foundation, which comes from your family, man. What do you? This is like this
But does
technology.
it, like, do you think?
I think
I think peers have a lot to do with it,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like-
I'd say the environment you're in, because I'm definitely not a product of my fucking parents. That's for sure.
Yeah,
But
my mum
but,
not
but
either,
I'm a
Yeah.
product of someone like two people that became like my parents. I would say.
Yeah.
And then you go away and you grow off your experience. But you see it when they're young. Like if you guide in them, like if you probably got a better chance of finding yourself a lot earlier, I think. But fuck, where were we going with that?
It doesn't need to go anywhere.
Well, I was thinking, about the. I remember watching this one kid, and there was a guy from Melbourne, and he's a really good-looking guy. Looked like David Gilmour from Pink Floyd, the guitarist. You know,
Oh, yeah.
like his. No, I think I'll be all right because I got to get my nose fucked up tomorrow, so I'll probably bleed out, man. That could be the
There's one
last of
more.
me. And anyway, he ended up fucking just losing his mind. And going and blowing himself up in Syria anyway.
Yeah.
And anyway, but this guy, like, to look at him, he looked like the bass player in a metal band.
Yeah.
But there are no metal bands anymore. Like, it's all shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, where was the culture that this guy should have been out there, like,
Yeah.
fucking screwing
Expressing
everything
it
that moved,
another way,
fucking
yeah.
blasting on the bass.
Yeah.
And what did he do? He blew himself up for some fucking
Yeah.
ridiculous idea.
Yeah.
Like, music's shit at the moment. You know, there are a lot of good little bands down there, but
I think the underground is
the underground's still good.
huge. Like the technicality of the underground movement is like
Yeah.
way up there that it's never been.
But if you're not like right into music,
But
you
if you're
don't
listening
know
to
about it.
radio
You
and
never
all
hear
that,
about
you
Oh, it's
never.
like and it's all the same.
It's all
Yeah.
it's accountants. Nothing wrong with
Yeah.
accountants, but it's accountants making music. They say this beat will sell. People like 148 beats a minute.
Yeah.
That'll do. Let's make a song of
Yeah.
that.
Well,
We'll have a-
it's like the social media algorithms. Like
Yeah.
what's gonna sell? What's gonna keep people
That's
hooked
right.
in to listening?
That-
like,
exactly
the
right, and you can
same
tell it. It's so
boring
fucking
shit.
bullshit.
So-
It kills the human soul.
Yeah.
And then why
Yeah.
people go off and go fucking mental, you know, because
Yeah.
there's no release for them.
Yeah.
yeah,
You gotta be allowed to be a little fucking crazy every now and then.
yeah,
'cause
you
we,
do.
we all
Blow off a bit
are.
of steam.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
In a
Aubrey
healthy
Marcus
way,
goes and howls at the moon. Have you heard him do that?
Nah.
He does it every now and then. He'll just go outside and like
Bark
start
at the moon.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
howl at the moon.
Well,
Just
that's
not
like
release.
that Elliot Hulse talks about he does these male grounding camps and shit. But I don't know if he was.
Is that with like tantric dance and shit?
Yeah, where
Yeah.
but now
What,
he
doing
does,
an
like,
erotic dance for your friends.
That's it's called stripping, Willie. What you do is stripping. They just do like active meditation and whatever the fuck they do, like masculine noises and shit that maybe like tribal dances and
Yeah.
shit like that. That's their way of doing it.
It's just being.
like-
I think it's just cool being in a group of people doing something,
yeah,
and
getting the
you
same-
know, like
you
it's,
can do anything. You sit around in a circle
Sit
and
around,
masturbate
fuck.
if you want, but
well, you could start a podcast. There's definitely gaps in the podcast market.
Verbal
Definitely.
masturbation, maybe.
Yeah.
well, pretty much
But,
fast. But like, how often do you don't even get to get with people and talk? Like how filtered are your conversations most of the time? If you spend like 80 or 70% of your time at work, you got to be professional. People that know me might think otherwise, but somewhat like you're filtering what's coming out of your mouth.
Yeah. So
Your interactions are a little more forced, like, and then what other time are you've been dad and
I've been lucky in my line of work. I've always worked with like fucking awesome guys
Yeah.
that you could just be yourself,
Yeah.
which has been great. But it's always the fucking management that ruin everything.
Yeah.
Shave your beards. Like you can't have a beard.
Shave your
We're
beard.
fucking coal miners. Like,
Coal miners
fuck's
without
sake.
beards.
We're gonna die young anyway.
Yeah.
We're all breathing shit. Jesus.
Yeah, I always thought it was
Let's
weird.
die
Like,
with a beard.
my dad and brother are in like male-dominated industries, you know, welders and things like that. And I felt like being in hospitality, because we always work with women, and I never had a problem getting a girlfriend or like women were normal to me. I remember.
Woman
and
or women?
I don't know.
You're
How do you
talking
say
about, like,
that?
More
Women.
than one?
More than one.
women?
Women.
Plural.
I like saying one chick.
Woman's. Womanies.
Girls.
Women.
Anyway, just it wasn't until I worked with the old man I went to a male-dominated thing, and they had no idea about women. You know, like it was the women were a
They're not
thing
used
to
to
see
being
in
around it.
magazines,
Yeah.
and they had this kind of weird view on them. It was-
Yeah, it is like it is.
but in
really
hospitality,
like
because you're with them all the time,
Yeah.
it's just not
Normal.
a weird thing.
We get like maybe there's like 3 girls at work in
Yeah,
the pit,
yeah.
and everyone's just like, whoa, yeah.
That's what they used to wolf whistle at them and shit like that.
It's
eh?
like
yeah.
yeah,
Weird.
and usually they're not nothing special. It's just I don't know what it is.
Shout out
It's
to the
strange.
3 girls in the
Yeah.
pit. You're
If
making
you're
a-
listening, you're getting looked at, but they know. They know they are. They're the only 3 girls in a fucking male dominated industry.
But yeah, it's not even like it's not like I'm all for the change and better like
We don't
social
wanna-
standards and
yeah,
shit. It's
yeah.
not about that though. It's just about like not oppressing what should be expressed.
Well, I think that the mind and body is make a one thing.
Yeah.
You can't just work on the mind and not have your body. Like
that
it's
fucking where science came in and tried to like separate it, but it's not.
It's
We're
not,
just
yeah,
one.
it's one
The
thing.
mind is the body. Body's the mind.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah, it's
gotta
a real
have
shame.
everything in tune.
Yeah,
or
you
you're out
notice
of
that
whack.
now with kids, they don't in school they don't have basically any emphasis on handwriting.
Yeah.
Now that fine motor skill is really important. I think hand-eye coordination. It means a lot. It's not just about writing. It's about
developing
your
those
mind and
modes,
body
yeah.
and fitting it all
And
together.
it improves your language and everything.
Yeah, it does.
Like-
and yet it's fucking terrible in schools.
Even
at the moment.
reading, like how many people read these days? It's hard to find anyone that
No.
reads.
What do you think about audiobooks versus reading?
I think reading's better.
I think you take it in better, but like for me, honestly, every time I pick a fucking book up and I like reading, like
You
I enjoy
wander?
it. No, I just start reading, I fall
Oh.
asleep.
Oh.
It's like
Yeah.
I'm
Is
constantly
it by
tired.
your bedside?
No, it can be anywhere. I could
Yeah.
be sitting here reading a book. I guarantee within 5 pages,
You're not
I
on the
don't- it's
nod.
like some weird pattern that's
It's
been
gotten into
trained
you now.
into me.
Yeah.
So I
It's
just
relaxing,
audiobook,
but
like
it's very relaxing to read.
yeah, I don't know. It's,
And your eye, maybe it's your eyes.
You might
Tracking
have
a
glasses,
lot.
man.
maybe.
Oh shit!
Yeah. But I don't
Dropping some
know.
knowledge.
Yeah, well, it could be. But I'm a bit iffy. I'm a reader, but I really do like the audiobook. And I
yeah.
think I retain more
Yeah.
with the audiobook.
It's easier to because I don't feel like you're expending as much as like
Yeah.
intellectual effort, like to.
It is
to
a bit of an
process
effort
the
moving your
words
eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
And then I'm
try-
trying to say
Lazy
tune
fuck.
in, don't mind, wander, don't mind. Whereas like when I'm hearing someone talk to me, I find it a lot easier.
Yeah, well, we've
Especially
been
usually
listening
do
to
it-
people talk
yeah.
a lot longer than we have been reading. Eh?
Yeah,
You
and
know?
especially usually listen to that stuff in a space like when you got time and nothing else going on.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're reading, like even when you're reading, if something's going on around you, it's hard to retain. Well,
That's
for
true.
me personally, anyway.
But I found it so fucking hard just to get onto audiobooks. Just like
to
I ended up
find-
giving up
yeah,
because I couldn't get the book I wanted. Like that,
Yeah.
they made me jump through all these hurdles. I was like,
Well,
fuck
there's
it.
the main one that everyone uses, but you can't just buy a book. You got to sign on for a month.
Yeah.
and it's $40 or whatever. Get it for free. Just give us for a month and just give us your details. It will be all right, man. And then you forget about it, and 6 months later they're taking all this money out.
Yeah.
And also you got to get the right person reading the
I
book.
was just about to say, the voice is crucial.
it's
like,
crucial, man.
You get some shit fucking.
Yeah.
I don't want
How
to say
you were talking about that, just then.
Yeah.
Fucking Dropbox did that to me.
Yeah.
I need a
yeah.
Dropbox like to send larger files because they give you fuck all
Yeah.
to send,
Yeah,
like the space.
2 gig or
So I'm
something.
like, I'll sign up for the free trial, and of course I forgot about it, and then I got smashed with like 300 and something bucks
Yeah.
just out of the blue, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's piracy. It's their mode of operation.
Assholes.
Yeah.
They want to get. It's not about a good product or any of that shit.
No.
Old school capitalism,
It's
which
about
which is
forgetting.
probably a good idea. A good product that lasts and all that. That's not. It's about fucking ripping you off. Getting psychologists in to realize, hey, if you just subtly do it here, they'll
Yeah.
forget about it. It's all about incentivizing you to give
Yeah.
them those numbers. And
I think it was 3 month trial.
yeah,
because
yeah.
by then
the
you've
longer the better.
totally
By then you've
forgotten it.
completely forgotten.
Yeah,
And it's got to be low enough that you don't. 300 is a big hit. They want to do it like fucking $20 a month or something for the rest of your life.
yeah,
Yeah.
And it's
Just
Yeah, you're not
bleed,
gonna-
just
we've got
slowly.
that. We've got subscriptions. I need to go through and fuck them off because
Yeah.
I'm sure there's money coming out of our
Oh,
account.
imagine how many TV subscriptions you get.
Yeah.
Like, man, I remember one said that they like go through and cull them.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I put them all back on, but
Well, I did one. I wanted to watch the
Stand.
Rugby World Cup last year, and but I didn't want to give Rupert Murdoch a fucking cent. And he was doing, I think he was doing 2 weeks free trials with an email. So I opened up all these email addresses and borrowed people's phone numbers or whatever. And I set up, and I managed to watch the whole thing.
Sweet.
But I think I forgot to close one of them down, the fucking thing. So because I noticed
You
he's
got
taking some
stung.
money off me. Speaking of the rugby, did you watch the Bledisloe Cup? You
But
seen
I'm
that?
the most anti-football person.
Oh, you're an
like,
anti-footballer.
I'm not an anti. Like I just
Yeah,
have
yeah.
never watched it in my whole life. The
Well,
only
you don't
game
want to start anyway.
The only game I've
Yeah.
ever watched, like with I know it's not even rugby. It's league.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
The Dragons occasionally, because like one of
'Cause
my
you're
mates
there,
is
yeah.
one of my mates' husband plays for him.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only reason I've ever watched it.
Yeah,
just
fair
to have a
enough.
look
Yeah.
at what he's doing.
I used to watch it when I was like 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Illawarra Steelers, Rod Wishart.
Yeah,
Couldn't
back
kick
in the
him
day.
from in front, but kick him from the sideline
I
every
think,
time.
Rod Wishart and Mal Meninga were like the only names I recalled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
Mal
and
Meninga.
Pedro Sevenasiva. I don't know
Oh,
why.
shit.
I knew his
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
That's from my nan's house, I think.
Yeah, Brisbane. Well, there goes that. Anyway, we don't want to.
Carry on.
Well, no, just we could go into a whole spiel about the Australian Rugby Union being completely fucked, and they need to fire everyone.
Well, they've been fucked for a long
I
time.
mean, yeah,
haven't
that's
they?
what I mean. 17 years without winning this piece of shit. It's not the players' fault. It's not even the coach's fault. It's the whole systemic structure of they don't get juniors into the sport.
Yeah.
They don't have any live rugby on free to air TV, and like they went from the number one team in the world to really they're like a B team. They shouldn't really
Wow.
be on the same field as the All Blacks.
See, I
Like it's
haven't-
that bad. It's like a high school team.
I haven't
playing
watched
them.
it for a long time.
Yeah,
like
it's
years.
getting
And
worse, man.
Australia used to always just lose to kind of, New Zealand.
Yeah.
But now
For a while they were winning shitloads.
Yeah,
They were
okay.
just winning, but now they're barely a team. Like it's and it's not their fault. I don't think. Like they've got this thing where. Why would you play rugby as a kid when if you want to play rugby union you're better off to play rugby league and then if you get
Go
good at
play
league
union
they'll
later.
poach
Yeah.
you. Like they poach all
Yeah.
their players and shit.
They
So
do, yeah.
why play rugby union?
But sports like that systemically everywhere here, I think, like the money's been taken out of it, not put into it. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Like you can be I don't know if we've talked about this before, but you can be like an Olympic, I think last week,
Yeah,
Olympic
yeah.
level athlete and get paid nothing. You're paying for everything and you get 30 grand or some shit if you win a gold medal.
Yeah.
What kind of shit is that?
It's weird though. Yet some sports like tennis, they'll
Making
train you up to be
shitloads
tennis,
of
and you can make
money.
$1 million
Yeah.
bucks a fucking game. You don't have to
Well,
pay it back.
I was talking to coach about this thing yesterday about a local golfer that's a pro that plays like some third tier Singapore league and still can earn 80
Yeah.
grand a game if he comes away with a win.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you're
wow.
earning a few $100 grand a year
Yeah.
playing some and you're not even you're third tier in Singapore or some shit. Like you're not even that good.
Yeah.
But you just there's so much more
Well,
money in certain sports, but most of our traditional sports, like there's just no money put into
There's
them.
nothing going in there.
I worked with this guy, Josh Manray. He came into the mines and he used to play like rugby union back in the day. He was really good. And his mates all went to Japan. And he's getting phone calls like, come and play fucking union in Japan. So what do you reckon I should do? I'm like, fucking go.
Yeah.
So he's flown over there making shitloads of money.
Yeah.
Just enjoying life.
Oh shit, yeah, it'd be
Like-
awesome.
Oh, you should have stayed in the mines.
Yeah.
Stay here. Pick that shovel up.
Yeah, he ended up coming back. He played for the Wallabies. I'm
Oh
pretty
shit!
sure.
I remember you were telling me he's a prop, wasn't he?
He
Yeah.
only because like 15 other dudes got injured, something like that. I can't remember. But yeah, he's a
that's pretty
champion
cool.
bloke.
That's cool.
Yeah, best move he ever made.
Yeah, yeah.
And happy birthday to Ryken.
Oh
Hey,
yeah,
up
right.
Up
his
your
birthday.
bum.
Hello.
4 years old tomorrow.
Yeah,
He'll be
yeah.
watching this
Yeah, when he's about
in 3
17.
days' time.
Forced.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
4 years. It goes quick, eh?
Fuck yeah. It's not much, but when you think about it, like
That's,
even 30 years. That
no, it's
ain't,
not.
that ain't
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Kids,
Fuck, we don't live long enough, really.
Nah, I'm open for
I feel like I'm
200.
going to live till 100.
My
think.
nan did. 103.
I mean, there you
As
go.
long as you're healthy, I want to live as long
Yeah.
as fucking possible.
See,
you
when
know?
I was young, I thought I was going to die early too.
I think all
I
young people
felt
do,
like I was
man.
Yeah.
I
destined
did,
to
you
die
know.
early.
All your heroes die early, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, yeah. Hendrix and all that stuff. He was a baby when he was 27, you know.
I
Remember
know,
all those old
legends.
hippies all look so old to me?
Yeah.
Now they look young. I know I'm getting
Yeah,
old
they were
because
kids,
Janice
right.
Joplin looks young.
Yeah.
Like fucking hell.
Hunter S. Thompson.
Thompson, yeah.
How old was he?
No, he was pretty old, man. No, he went out with style.
I feel like
shotgun
he'll
to the
have
back
to
of the
be
head.
like, he's like a token guy lately. He'll
Yeah.
have to go on a shirt or something. He's a fucking cool
We'll have to go to
cat.
Las Vegas.
Get him a Smack Panda logo. Put it around him.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, there's lots of fights on this weekend. Going
Again?
back to the boxing worlds. No, last weekend.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
more
yeah,
than
sorry.
just what we have. Davis's knockout over Santa Cruz. We had a couple of Aussies
Maloney.
on. Had Jason Maloney fight probably the number 2 or 3 best pound for pound boxer on the planet, and I can never say his name. Inoue from Japan. Had I think I'm pretty sure it's bantam or super bantam. And he can punch, man. He's just like he just won the World Boxing Super Series. So he was a big outsider going in. It was a tough ask, but he did pretty well for some rounds. He did some good things against him, but it's just that like
Bit of a level.
and
is
yeah,
it?
well, Inouye's like one of those 0.1 percenters. Like,
Is he really
You
that
know,
good?
like the sport has those few guys that are that good, and he's kind of that dominant at the minute. So tough to beat. Doesn't mean Jason will never become world champion. Just not against Inoue while he's there, you know. But against any of the other guys, like he can be competitive. He was competitive for a little while. He did some real good stuff. So there was that. George Kambosos. He was pretty impressive against Lee Selby. He beat him by about 4 rounds, I think, over 10. Well, maybe it was 12. I can't remember how many
Yeah.
rounds it was, but it was like it was a pretty clear victory. He started out probably behind a little, but just stalked and found the shots and just landed better quality.
Yeah.
Looked pretty sharp, like pretty strong for the weight. And then Savannah Marshall, man, like a female boxer, that's probably like I'm big on Katie Taylor and like Clarissa Shields, and they've always been impressive. But Savannah Marshall boxed just like Tyson Fury. It's ridiculous.
Shit.
She's like a
Wow.
70. Oh, what's she fight at? Middle or super middle as a female, and she's just like she's trained by his uncle Peter Fury. Peter Fury. Yeah, I think so. No, is that his dad? I forget.
I don't know.
Anyway, one of the
That's- I was just
Furies.
thinking how
That's the
good, cool
uncle.
of a last name is
Right,
that.
and
Yeah.
like she boxes just like Tyson, but just looks heaps less gangly doing it. Like,
Yeah. Not
and
9
she-
foot
yeah,
tall.
she just boxed phenomenally and won the WBO title. What else is on? Fuck, there's heaps of fights on. Oh, Usyk.
Yeah.
Former undisputed cruiserweight champion.
Chisora.
Derek Chisora, big, like, surly heavyweight, so he's moved up. And, like, it was an entertaining fight. It was kind of a what's going to happen type
Yeah.
thing. He give a good account of himself, Chisora, but Usyk just a little bit too much
Too good,
class and
yeah.
too much skill.
Because he went up, didn't he?
Yeah,
Is
so
that
he
a-
went up
is
from
that-
cruiser. That
Yeah.
was his second fight at heavy, and he's fought kind of 2 big lumps at heavyweight.
Yeah.
And I think people will write him off because they don't think he's big enough.
Usyk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like he'll do better against the Joshuas and the Furies than he would against the styles that he's boxed because of the fact that AJ and Fury do box.
Yeah.
They stand off a little bit more and pick their spots, and I feel like they give him the space to do his thing a little bit more. Whereas
Yeah,
these
right.
guys have kind of rushed and put pressure on him, makes it
Yeah.
harder because the size comes into play a bit more. What else?
It's insane.
There was a lot of fights, man.
UFC was on too.
Heaps of fights.
Anderson Silva lost.
Oh, did he?
Oh, yeah.
He's at the end of his rope, really.
Yeah, but still, he's a legend.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he lost.
Well, by points or stoppage?
No, I think it was by points. I didn't even watch it, but I just saw him fucking on his knees. And
Did he retire then? Was that him?
no,
That was
no.
Khabib.
Oh, was it? Oh, you know, Khabib.
Yeah.
But I think
Khabib.
someone else
Call
might have
Khabib.
as well. Yeah, yeah. Do you reckon he'll come back though?
Right. To what but?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
he's
What's the
destroyed
point?
Fucking,
everyone.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
back wrestling bears and frozen lands.
Is he Kazakhstan or is he?
Dagestan? Dagestan? That's
Dagestan.
it. Man, I can't...
Today, Junior.
Miss Lippy.
Hasn't he made a good living out of
Oh,
the one
man.
role he's ever done?
And then he's just got all these other shit movies.
He's got a new one out.
He's got heaps of them.
It's got that Kevin James in it and it's the same fucking character
Yeah,
of all of them.
Yeah.
It's like
he did well.
he did out of one character, he's made a lot of money.
I didn't mind Happy Gilmore. when I was
Yeah, but that
young,
was like the early days of it.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing
Yeah.
it all the time. You're like,
Yeah.
fuck,
Oh
here
my
we
God.
go.
Adam
Yeah,
Sandler
yeah.
again.
Yeah. Adam
There's
Sandler.
so many
Sandler plays
Netflix,
this.
man. Like,
Yeah.
how many Netflix movies do you want to put out?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. But, man.
Give us a special.
Oh, wait, hey.
Netflix sponsored.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. By the buds.
Yeah.
Buds.
Let's come up with a slogan.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Budweiser. The non-American American beer. I think it's German.
That's true.
Yeah, what else is going on then? Yeah.
Let me topic list. Let me look.
No, there's not much. Like, just got the election.
Got the election. Coming up to Christmas. Yeah.
This year's fucking flying.
It's
mate.
almost over. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's probably it's a good
Oh.
thing. Everyone's pushing Christmas to be here now.
Yeah.
Like in the shops, all the shit's
Yeah.
out
Fuck
already.
yeah.
Man,
Trees and
Halloween
shit.
just like ended the other day. Christmas is out.
Fuck
Everything-
Halloween. We're
everything's
fucking
like,
Australians.
I know. I don't get
Yeah,
that
yeah.
big. Like whatever. If you want to have a party, have a party.
Yeah,
go
if-
trick or treating. But like, it's like a big push thing now.
It's because it's another thing to sell, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
sell this, sell that.
When we were kids, no,
No
one
one
ever
even
No,
knows
it's
what
a-
the fuck it
yeah.
means. It's
Oh,
a
it's only-
Mexican holiday.
Is it? I thought it was
Yeah.
about Salem and the.
No,
the
man.
Mexicans do the
It's
Day
a
of the
Mexican
Dead
Day
thing.
of the Dead.
But I think it's the
Or
American
is it
version
Salem?
of it,
Yeah.
I think. I like the idea of the Day of the Dead. If we all went to cemeteries and hung out with it's not a bad thing to do. you know?
corpses.
Well, just your ancestors, you never think about your grandparents
Yeah.
that might have died and that. You never give them a second thought. But
Yeah.
it's actually quite a nice thing to go one day and go have a drink with them or something. Yeah. And they
think-
dress pretty cool.
Yeah.
man.
Should we do a piss break?
But what I find, like, say about these philosopher dudes, like, there's a new, with the new form of podcast and long form, there's new people getting into maybe philosophy and stuff that have never done it, had inkling to do it. Like, and so you got new modern philosophers that are kind of hip and famous, like Jordan Peterson's a classic one.
Yeah.
You know, and I noticed, like, from people we know, have never really thought deeply about subjects like that,
Yeah.
but he's their man.
Yeah.
And so, but now he's the guru, and everyone
Yeah.
talks, oh, he's this and that. My problem with Jordan Peterson, I realised, what's my problem with him? I've got a few. The main one, the fucker never laughs.
Yeah.
He takes himself
Ever.
far too seriously, man.
Yeah.
Monitor's good.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that just battery dies on that motherfucker.
Yeah.
But never trust anyone that thinks they know everything full on. You got to be able to.
no one-
Bullshit.
Fucking, you got to laugh at yourself.
just-
If
yeah.
you think you know everything, you're the schmuck. Eh?
You're
You know?
you're caught up in your ego again.
Yeah.
And your ego fucking bullshits.
It bullshits you all the time. Do you find that with Peterson though? Like, he's a very, I think
Yeah.
he suits a certain type of person that
Yeah.
likes that mindset or whatever. And we're not even talking about what he's saying. I'm saying,
Yeah.
like, you could tell Hitler was a prick.
Personality.
I don't speak German, but I
Yeah.
watched the Nuremberg fucking speeches.
Yeah.
That guy's a prick.
You can tell.
You can tell. I don't know
And-
to
and-
know what he says.
Yeah, Jordan doesn't like. He's not someone I want to hang out and have a fucking beer with or my kids around. I feel like he's a fucking negative cunt. Like,
Yeah.
well, that was a bit wrong. wasn't it?
We might get him on the show, you know. And
Yeah,
also,
but-
he fucks me off with his arguments against people. He's really good at cutting
He's
people
too
down.
good, yeah.
But having said that, he cuts them down by saying, well, he gives these random facts that there's no one there fucking...
No.
Let's check this random...
Yeah,
There's
and
no fact checkers.
There's no fact checkers, and he makes straw men. Like when he has a go at Marxism, you might be for it, against it. But he puts up these straw men, these arguments that Marxism doesn't actually say, and then he destroys those arguments, and everyone in the crowd goes, yeah. But Marxism didn't fucking say that in the first place,
Yeah,
you know.
okay.
It's-
He's building shit that he can
it's a
break
classic.
down.
Yeah, and,
yeah,
and that shit
make
is not
himself
there.
Look good. Yeah.
And I think he
I
does
like
the-
him depending on my mood.
Well,
Yeah.
I think
If
he's
I'm in
12.
that
I'm
mood-
like
yeah.
that with a lot of people though.
yeah.
Like, yeah, I feel like some.
I think a lot of people got
Jordan
some
Peterson
things out of him. I think the 12-step program helped a lot of
Yeah.
people. And so I'm not anti him. I think he could be like a gateway drug to some really big brains like
Yeah.
Chomsky, and there's other people out there that, like, you know, and if it's nice that
Yeah.
as long as you don't stay on Peterson,
Yeah.
you can use him to bounce
Yeah.
off.
Well, it's
and
like
find
anything.
other things.
We talked about that before too, like the idolization of people or the pedestals we put them on, because everyone's so fucking flawed. Like, you can never just take one person and model everything off them, because like no one has all the answers,
No one's
because
got all
none of
the
us know
angles.
what it's fucking all
And it's an
about.
Because we're
evolving.
humans.
Everything
It is.
evolves.
It's so
No-
interchangeable. Like
Yeah.
you need to be able to adapt, and like things vary. There's so
Be
many
like water.
variables. Yeah. Exactly.
yeah,
Bruce
water.
Lee.
Bruce
There you
Lee.
go. He knew everything.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
He liked
crash.
water. But that's a great analogy. It can crash. What is it? It can flow. It
yeah.
can fall. It can whatever the fuck else the water can do. But it's adaptable.
everything.
Yeah.
It's weird shit water. We get in the whole water debate.
It becomes
Yeah.
the cup. I love that fucking. That's a
never
cool.
tried
one.
us in Australia.
Cool.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
cool,
yeah,
dude.
no, that was a really cool like little motivational track put out on it and had this song behind it.
Oh,
It got me
yeah.
going, man. It was cool. I used to listen to it before training or out running sometimes.
Yeah.
It was good. I was
Might
like,
have to put that on there.
I am water.
Oh, we'll find that.
Yeah, yeah.
It
We'll
will
turn
be
to
here.
ice.
Now you put water into a cup. It becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
Man. Yeah, it can be steam.
It'll
It's
be
over there
adapted.
somewhere.
Yeah, I'll
Very
put it
adaptable.
just here.
Cool. Impression now to be on this side. I couldn't get it on that side. So yeah, they're interested in the modern fucking philosophers.
Well, it's
That's-
good that people
yeah.
are starting to think.
Did
There
you-
are a lot
Yeah.
of fevered egos in the space, though. Eh? You
Yeah.
know?
Everyone's trying to sell something. That's probably the biggest problem. Like I used to be all for like the motivational guys, but really I guess it's just important that you take one or two things from them. If you can do that and then better your life because of
Yeah,
a
yeah.
message that they deliver, then okay, they serve their purpose. But yeah, you definitely can't. You see people get hooked on these like membership programs and paying like X amount of dollars to be part of something and to go to these talks and different things and like they're just building fucking cults
It ends up
basically.
being
It's a
cultish,
marketing
eh?
for
Yeah.
you fucking
It's a real
muppets.
shame
Jesus.
because the whole it's one thing you can never have too much of, and that's a good attitude. So if it gives
Yeah.
you a good attitude for things, it's positive. But yeah, I think a lot of them do prey on people who are looking for a guru rather than
Yeah.
finding the inner guru.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
There's no better lessons learnt than the ones learnt.
Did you guys do
within.
philosophy at school?
No,
They
man.
taught it
I
when
don't
I
think
was
they
at school.
did it.
I ain't
Yeah,
did
I
nothing.
don't
Yeah,
know.
we did. We had a.
Well, that's cool.
We had a. I think it only went for a year.
Yeah.
Smoking cones in the toilet doesn't count as philosophy, really.
Hey, that's pretty good philosophy. Like.
Or does it?
Ooh.
Let's ask Jordan Peterson.
No,
But we they touched on Confucius, of course, but nothing
yeah, what
really
about
stuck.
Confucius? Like, he was more of a. I don't know a lot about him, but I think he was all about following rules and stuff. Like, not being a dick, but I think he was very hierarchical. You know, he probably suited the times. I'm not sure on that, but I think the Chinese are still following Confucius, aren't they? Like
I
the
don't know.
the government
know.
or
The
something.
The only thing I know of Confucius is from Bruce Lee.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I've heard him talk about it. Confucius say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you read the book, the Book of Five Rings?
No, that's a samurai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very philosophical.
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 There you go.
Yeah.
I got you.
That's
too.
what's
Yeah.
that word you're struggling with?
Fuck knows.
Yeah,
That was a
anyway.
big- I didn't even know if that word you were trying to say was.
I didn't make shit up all the time.
Ostracized.
I was doing a Tyson.
Ostracized, yeah,
Making up fancy words.
Tyrannical.
Yeah.
But that Book of Five Rings, it starts off really neat, and then
Yeah.
you kind of get halfway through, and you're just like, this is fucking shit.
Yeah, I really like the Art of War.
Yeah, I read that when I was
Yeah.
young.
Yeah, I read it
Sun
when I was
Tzu.
young, mate. Yeah, but even just for negotiations and everything.
Yeah.
And that's it. The Vietnamese used it. You
Yeah,
know,
it's kind of
World
very
War II.
basic, but isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Start on the high ground. If you're in the
Yeah.
high ground,
Yeah.
you got the advantage.
Well, know your
He
enemy,
who has
you know.
more
Yeah.
will win.
Yeah.
Yeah, he who knows him. What is it? Know your enemy, and you fear not 1,000 battles or some shit.
Yeah. It's
I don't-
kind
I
of.
can't
I reckon he
even
might not
remember
have actually
selling it.
existed. He might have been an
It'd just be like-
amalgamation.
yeah.
of,
So he created Bitcoin.
yeah. It could fucking be the same guy when you think about it. Those little tic tac things that are shooting around the sky.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name? Who did Bitcoin? It was Satoshi Nakamoto. Yeah. Could be. Yeah. And
Aliens.
Sun
reckon.
Tzu. Well, something happened with that Bitcoin shit. So
Yeah.
It's wild stuff.
Yeah, I'm not into it yet.
So, yeah, I
Well,
can't,
now's the
I
time,
don't know, I
my
man.
can't
head
wrap my
around
head
it.
around it.
yeah.
Well, that's the best thing about Bitcoin because you go into it, you think you might make money, but it makes you more intelligent. Like when I first got into Bitcoin,
You got Bitcoin?
Yeah, not a lot of it, but we got in at $7,000.
He's married to a lawyer
So,
because he got Bitcoin.
well, yeah, but
Well, it's like a cowboy domain, though, isn't it?
it absolutely is. But it's fucking amazing. Like Bitcoin, like when you
sounds
get
good.
into it, it teaches you what money is. I had no idea where money came from. I didn't know about fiat currency or anything, but when it was released in 2009, it was released with a white paper by this guy, Satoshi Nakamoto. And the white paper described the current financial system, the current state of wars happening everywhere. We're all slaves to banks. They create money and we fight each other for the money. We give our life up for this thing that's created with nothing back in it. The reason is
True.
there's wars, never-ending wars, is because they can afford it because they just print the money.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was gold back or something
Yeah.
back, but gold doesn't
You
really work
can't,
anymore
no.
because I want to buy that beer off you. Here's a gold coin. How do you know it's a real gold coin?
Yeah.
You don't.
Plus,
you know.
I don't really give a fuck about a gold coin.
Yeah, that's right. It
Yeah.
doesn't do anything. Whereas Bitcoin, if I want, let's say, there's a farmer in Africa. If I want to give him $10 now, I can send him Bitcoin on my phone right now. He'll get it in about 30 seconds, maybe less than that. There's no transaction fee. It's instantaneous, and no one can take it off him.
There's no tax, motherfucker.
There's no tax, and there's no third. The main thing is there's no third party need. Every time I buy a coffee at a cafe, that transaction actually gets
Through
confirmed
the
through
yeah.
Wall Street, and that eventually a few days later, it's actually all through one SWIFT. It's called the SWIFT system, and so there's a third party needs to recognise that transaction happened. With Bitcoin, there's no third party. If it goes from my phone to your phone, it's there. There's no counterfeiting it.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's when you get into it, you freak
Yeah.
out. Like this altcoin, but mainly the Bitcoin space is where the internet was, say in 1993 or 4.
Yeah.
And everyone's the internet's going to be fucking
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
It's going
And
to be
that's
shit.
gonna blow up,
But
yeah.
what was happening behind the scenes after the dot-com crash is that all the big brains in the world were working on the internet. They all knew what it was, and that's what Bitcoin is now. All the big brains in the world are actually working in this space, man, and it's going to take the monetary system away from governments. It could be the end of government as we know it. It'll be highly individualized. The thing is, if you get your Bitcoin and you lose it, you're fucked.
Yeah.
There's no bank there to say, can I have my Bitcoin back, please?
Yeah.
No, you have to be your own sovereign person. You become your own bank. So it's a way for humans to actually take
Ownership
ownership of their
yeah.
lives.
Yeah.
This is you. You have to be an adult.
Yeah.
It's a
freedom.
philosophy. It's fucking freaky. It's not just some nerd thing. It's a whole way of life.
I listened to some expert on all the coins.
Yeah.
Some guy, I can't remember his name, was on a London Reel.
Wasn't Kaiser, Max Kaiser?
Could have
So,
been up
yeah.
in the plane with the meetings, and he tells a certain group of people
Yeah.
what are going to be the next big
Oh,
3
really?
coins or some shit.
Yeah, the whole coin thing was actually it was all a load of bullshit. Actually,
Yeah,
it was
okay.
all just a
Just a
as a
ploy to
Ponzi
get
scheme.
money. Yeah.
Yeah, really, and a lot of people made shitloads of money,
Yeah.
but it was a pyramid scheme pretty much.
Yeah.
Bitcoin isn't. Bitcoin's
one
like
that
the internet.
lasted
It's
out, yeah.
actually open source. Because it's open source, people have tried to hack it. Like it's worth $500 billion now. There's 500 billion in the Bitcoin space.
How much
And
is one?
at the moment? It's about, I think it's 12 grand US, so it's 20 grand Australian.
For one Bitcoin.
One Bitcoin. So, but
So you
Bitcoin,
can't buy it unless you're spending 12 grand.
No, you can
no,
buy
you can
pieces.
buy 1 cent worth, man.
Oh.
So it breaks down to as many satoshis, which is be like 1 cent of a Bitcoin, but they can get broken down infinitely. So what might happen looks like, because the whole world economic system is falling apart. So people don't realize it, but it is 0% interest rates and that. It's like
Yeah.
it's never happened before. It's
Yeah.
going negative. It's doesn't work. It's fucked.
Yeah.
So, but Bitcoin, what looks like there's countries like Venezuela and say Iran who are being booted by the Yanks off the SWIFT system, and their money is worth nothing. They're actually going into Bitcoin. So now we've got actual states using Bitcoin as a reserve currency.
Okay.
And so Russia looks like to get into it.
Cool.
And so what we can look now is Bitcoin could beat $1 million,
Currency,
man.
global
It would be the
currency,
global reserve currency.
Yeah.
And so every other currency in the world, there might be other currencies, but they will be nominated against a Bitcoin. It's
yeah.
worth X amount of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Or a Satoshi, So it's
Totally
there's
out
these
Bitcoin.
problems in the world, and then there are all these solutions there. It's like there's there's a famous thing Bucky Fuller used to say, that you don't change a system from the inside, you create a better system on the outside of that system, and eventually that will, because it's just it's a better system. You know, like if people are crossing a river with a barge and are drowning every now and then, you build them a bridge, you don't have to convince them to use the bridge, they'll just fucking use the bridge. And that's what Bitcoin is. It's just a better system. So that's eventually people will just use it. And then the crossover will be so quickly when the fiat currencies will die, which is going to happen pretty soon. The apps will be there ready to use it and stuff, and you won't even realize that everything will be backed by Bitcoin now.
Yeah.
I will, because we got one.
Yeah, I thought about it not long ago.
It's still 20 grand sounds like a lot of money, but it's still the best investment in the world, man.
It's kind of like shares, isn't it?
Yeah, it's better than
You
shares.
kind
it's-
of
yeah, but
going to
it's
make
not-
money off it.
yeah.
You know.
But I think Bitcoin is banking on humanity, man. You know, it's
so.
not just about us. Idiots get into it to making money and stuff like that. They don't last very long in the space because they get educated and they actually become revolutionaries, Bitcoin revolutionaries. So anyway, not to push it too much, but it's a weird thing, man. Satoshi Nakamoto released it and disappeared.
Who the fuck is he?
No one knows who he is.
Do you reckon he'll come out on his deathbed?
I don't think it was one person. I think it was probably a group of people.
Syndicate.
They were all cyberpunks back in the day. So it's all about encryption and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So, but it's weird how it all happened in 2008. You know, when the
Collapse. Yeah.
when the collapse happened, Bitcoin was ready to go.
Is that when
very
Anonymous
strange.
kind of was
Yeah.
around? Do you reckon they were? Remember Anonymous?
But yeah,
And they
I
shut
remember
down
Anonymous.
Sony.
Yeah, wasn't that the North Koreans?
I don't know. Well, they
with their
blamed it-
Commodore 64.
They blamed Anonymous. Anonymous got the.
They're
heat for
handy
that.
to get blamed though, because they're not even a group. They're just a bunch of
Just
like
Anonymous.
the anonymous people. So it's CIA, there's KGB or whatever those guys are called. Like, it's, you can buy a Guy Fawkes mask and you're a part of Anonymous.
That's
Just-
right.
I think I got one up there. It was me. I
You're
did it. all.
Satoshi.
Ding, ding.
Ding, ding.
Invest in Bitcoin.
Well, do your own research, but check it out. It's not just a joke. It's
Yeah.
it's going to be the internet of the future. So
Get on it.
get on it. It's
Get it up, yeah.
stack sats. They say buy a coffee and buy $2 worth of Bitcoin. Yeah, that $2 probably in 10 years is going to be worth $2 or $3 grand. So
Interesting.
yes,
So there's no minimum buy-in, but
no, it's not really a hassle to buy, and you've got the hardest part is getting your money into the fiat currency, into Bitcoin, but there's a couple of Australian companies that do it for you. But what you do, you don't, so you can buy it, let's say you get $500 worth, you exchange it onto our Australian website. There's a few of them out there. And they will give you Bitcoin. You'll have to have your own Bitcoin wallet, which say it's kind of like an app. And but they'll say, we'll keep it on our servers, and then you can have it whenever you want. Don't do that. You got to get it straight from their server onto your phone, and then it's yours. And or there's even hard wallets where it's like a little thumb drive where you can put it on there, and and so because if it's on the internet and it's not in your wallet, you don't own it and they can take it, and there's nothing you can do.
Okay.
It's untraceable,
yeah,
So
yeah.
there's you have to do your own due diligence with it.
Yeah.
It's not it's not saying that
it's
you can.
it's like Cowboys.
Yes, Cowboys and
Yeah.
Indians, man. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, cool.
It's a
Very
cool space though.
interesting.
We have to get some Bitcoin gurus on. It's the most interesting thing going. One of them, anyway, at
Yeah.
the moment.
Well, times are changing, man. They
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like that.
They are.
The potential.
The whole world's
there.
bubbling up,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah,
There's
something's gonna happen.
There's some steam happening.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it doesn't boil over in the States with our friends over there. We don't want anyone to get hurt, but something's got to change for them over there, man. They're doing it tough.
Chaos.
So
But then, like, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to know when we're not down on the ground, I guess.
no, but you can see things like New York's got a malnutrition ward for children. Like one of
That's
them.
stupid, eh?
Yeah, like there's that's the issue. The middle class has been squashed, and that's what happened in Germany, man. And they voted in a guy called Adolf Hitler. So I'm not saying any of these guys are Hitlers, but when you squash the middle class, they will fucking go weird.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
we might cut all that
What
ramp.
Had to leak.
Bitcoin was cool. Pabst, what did you think, really?
Not too bad.
Not a bad beer.
Yeah, it's better than Euron. So
Pabst, I didn't
Some
mind 'em. I
Euron.
thought they were like, they're really like smooth. They're kind of creamy.
yeah, I'd like
In a
to
way.
taste them out of a bottle. I think the
Yeah.
bottle is a better representation of the beer.
I feel like American, like.
but then again, is a cup like a
Well,
a
they
glass
reckon
better?
that's supposed to taste better, but not out of the. You're supposed to pour that into a glass,
Okay.
From the can.
not from the can, because the
Oh.
can has aluminium, so it's
Yeah.
on your lip. It's going to taste a bit aluminium-y. But,
Just a fun fact about the Pabst Blue Ribbon. It was selected as America's best beer in 1893.
They need to update
how big
that.
was America then? Wouldn't
There was 3 other beers on the market.
there was like 14 people.
Maybe.
And if they didn't vote for that, they got fucking
It only
shot.
took them 50 years to get that ribbon. They're established in 44. That's interesting little spiel to have on your can. But they've been around for a while, so
Yeah.
They
Does that
can't
mean
be
they're any good at it though?
well, fucking they haven't won a beer award in 127 years, so I'd say no. Oh shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, it's been a good week. Lots of boxing, lots of politics that I have not much understanding on, but I did try and learn a little. So whoever gets 270 plus,
yeah.
is it college?
Yeah, the college, electoral college or
Yeah.
some shit. Yeah, it's a fucking weird system. I don't know. So
They win that, they win presidency. So
Yeah.
The
who
worst thing that
knows?
could happen is if it's really close over there, I think,
yeah,
because that's going to,
I think it will be.
yeah. Well, if it's really close and Trump loses, that's when things could go
Get
interesting.
carried.
Yeah.
Is it
I
going
think
like
it'll
it's
win.
pretty fucked up there now at the moment anyway,
It's,
so
it's pretty fucked. Yeah. Yeah.
how much more fucked
Fucked
up
it,
could it get?
We're about to find out.
Yeah. The sad thing is we kind of follow them, being Australians.
Yeah, Australia's it's a
Our
bit annoying.
politics kind of
Yeah, it does.
look to the Yanks a lot.
We do. I think like societally.
Yeah.
Well, their culture is so strong, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
like it's American movies we see, and although
Yeah.
there is an Australian movie on at the moment, I'll take the kids. It's called Rams.
Okay.
Sam Neill and stuff in it, and it's about sheep up in Northern Territory or some shit. But it looks like fun, and it's an Australian movie, so I'm fucking going
Yeah, right.
because you don't get to see Australian movies.
And it's got nothing to do
yeah.
with the fact that he's a New Zealander, guys. All right, so don't fucking give him a hard time about the shit.
Ah, I'm an answer. It's both.
And on that note, we'll catch you next week. See you later, guys.
See you later.